Hey everybody, my name is MetalMusicMan.
And I am Professor Lex.
And this is episode 69 of the Metal and Lex podcast.
We did it.
Welcome. Our new bi-weekly podcast.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Our unofficially bi-weekly podcast. We've done bi-weekly 2-3 times in a row now, I think.
No,
Twice?
I don't think it's been in a row.
Hasn't been in a row? We've staggered.
Yeah.
Staggered
yeah,
bi-weekly.
we had a couple.
Right.
We've had a little bit of scheduling conflict. Astute viewers,
we've had lives, sadly.
Might have noticed that we missed a couple episodes. I think 2 total at this point. And
yes.
We're sorry, but welcome to the
back.
69th episode, Sexstravaganza.
I want everyone to know that this was not my idea. Against all odds, episode 69, Sexstravaganza, absolutely not my idea. I'm sitting here, I'm playing Smash Brothers with this man. I'm dunking on his Kirby. And I'm like, hey, what are we gonna talk about? Dude, and he's like, bro, it's episode 69, it's the Sexstravaganza. And I was just like, well, I can't not. And he promised me he would describe in
We're going to go through a detailed sexual history.
Alex's penis.
Oh, my penis?
Yeah, you're going to just paint a picture for us of... There are no happy accidents.
Okay, do you know Peter Gabriel from Genesis?
I do. I don't know where this is going. Not
Phil Collins.
I'm already invested.
But Peter Gabriel. Okay, do you remember his solo stuff?
Yeah. Sledgehammer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. That's
your dick is a sledgehammer.
Just bumping up and down all around the bend. Yeah.
Is that like you?
I can be your Big Dipper.
There's a song by a gay rapper whose name escapes me called Big Dipper.
I don't know that one.
And it's very gay. It's
very erotic.
It's the gayest thing I've ever seen ever, and it's really good. He has another song called LaCroix Boy. What is this rapper's name? I have to look this up now.
You have to look up LaCroix Boy.
I can't think of who it is. But there's one. Is he the Big Dipper? I'm just gonna look up LaCroix Boy because I feel like that's gonna find results. Oh, his name is Big Dipper.
Big Dipper.
The rapper's name is Big Dipper.
Called LaCroix Boy.
There's a song. Maybe it's self-titled.
Self-titled. That
one of them is Big Dipper, and he says Big Dipper a bunch in it.
That makes sense.
Anyway, Big Dipper, LaCroix Boy, BOI, of course.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. He's a talented guy. You should check out some of his music.
Google, YouTube, SoundCloud.
Big Dipper, LaCroix Boy.
Big Dipper, LaCroix
I can't remember what
Big
the other one is. Because LaCroix Boy is not the first one that I heard, but whatever the other one is, it's like the chorus is like he just says like something, and then he's like, I'm the Big Dipper, and then he just says like a bunch of super gay shit, and it was like
I'm the Big Dipper.
It was like 2011 or some shit when this came out, and I was like, damn, this is really forward. Like I'm really
wow, how progressive.
The world was not ready for like this much gayness in one like in the year of our Lord 2021, right?
Oh, yeah,
where you're like,
we're there.
Lil Nas X is fucking Satan,
dude. Right?
And good for him. And he's the shit. There was actually Lil Nas X tweeted a thing today that was like, every time someone says, yeah, we get it, you're gay, I become 10% gayer.
Good.
World needs more gay black dudes for sure, specifically. So good for him. But anyway, Big Dipper in like 2015 or 12 or whatever fucking year it was he was ahead of his time. He's very hairy. He's very
Pursuit.
I would describe him as Jewy. If he looks very Jewish, he has a Jewy look. He's very hairy. It's like Seth Rogen.
Is he black?
No, the Big Dipper's not black.
Big Dipper's not black? Okay.
No. He's a white dude.
Okay.
He looks like Seth Rogen, but very gay. Is how I would describe him.
You're saying he looks gay?
I mean, yeah, I would say. You couldn't. You know when Lil Nas X was fucking Satan?
Yeah, that was...
And you were like, well, I mean, that's gay.
That's on the nose.
That's gay. Yeah. Like, that's really gay. Like, that's how the Big Dipper's very... I mean,
good for them.
You can't not intuit the gayness. There's no...
Leaving it to the imagination.
It's right there.
No suggestion. It's just
like, it's 69th episode.
69th
Sexstravaganza. Gay music. And Sexstravaganza.
Yeah, so you guys weren't here. Will's been walloping on me with Kirby and feeding me booze.
Yeah.
So
That's
now
what we
we're going to
do.
go over a
This is the first
detailed...
in-person one. Did I say that already? We haven't done in person in like a million years.
Yeah, like straight up a year.
Alex is here. I'm staring at him in his face.
In honor of the imminent mask mandate, we are meeting in person.
I was talking to Alex earlier, and I was like, "Yeah, man, now that COVID's not a thing anymore." And he was like, "Well, it very much is again." And I was like, "You know what? You're right. I've been not thinking about that intentionally and just living my life."
Yeah, you gotta cut that shit out.
I mean, fuck,
You
dude.
gotta
As
stop.
as an honorable St. Charlesian, every night I go out and I burn a cross.
And you burn a cross in your backyard. You lick a stranger.
And I tweet about how masks are evil and I have an asthma problem.
You've got masks, right?
Yeah,
I don't see any.
They're right here actually.
Oh shit!
They're
You got them. Okay.
Ta-da.
Again, we're in
It's
person.
a whole drawer
Look at that.
of masks.
Okay, Will
I haven't used them in a
confirmed
while.
has masks. You haven't? I use a mask every time I go out.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care
I know
anymore.
it's because I'm from like the city proper.
I'm
or
from
whatever.
St. Charles, and
Yeah, it's the Wild West out here.
I don't
fucking
care.
tumbleweeds.
No, I did I wore a mask longer than anyone in St. Charles.
Longer,
like
I was,
I was going
not
out
longer than me because I'm still wearing masks.
No. In St. Charles is the qualifying statement. Of course.
Of course.
But I was going out and I went to the local business establishment, Beer, Bait, and Bullets.
Yeah, that's a real place. Just in case you think that Will made that up, I've been to Beer, Bait, and Bullets.
It's real.
And they have at least beer.
Shockingly, that usually there is a black dude behind the counter that is against all odds.
It's like an Indian guy.
No. There is an actual black dude.
Yeah.
That works there, and every time I'm like, man, how did you get this job? And then I realized that it's owned by some Indian dudes. So I think what happened is like some shitty old white Republican guy in like the 70s had Beer, Bait, and Bullets, and then he died of like COVID,
and then someone just
or he shot
seized
himself.
it.
And these Indian dudes were like, they bought it, and presumably they had a meeting, and they were like, do we change the name?
And they were like, oh,
they're like, no, it's
God,
St. Charles.
It's
Beer, Bait, and
Bullets.
leave it as
We don't want to misrepresent our craft.
So surprisingly diverse staff at Beer, Bait, and Bullets.
Decent variety of beer.
So were you there after they redid it? It's actually pretty good now.
I've only been there after they've redone it.
Because their beer is like, I would agree, decent, but they actually have a lot of whiskey and
Spirits,
bourbon and shit now, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, anyway, Beer, Bait, and Bullets, pretty cool.
We're not sponsored yet, but it's coming up.
But yeah, point being, I would go to Beer, Bait, and Bullets, or I would go to like Maine, and it was 2 months at least of just like, I'm the only person in a mask. And I was like, it doesn't.
Nah, man.
It doesn't matter.
So every time
I might as well stop.
Every time I went into a Schnucks or a Target or whatever, the signs on the front door would say, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And I'd be like, vaccinated as hell. I'm rolling in vaccines up the wazoo. And I'm like wearing a mask. And no one says anything to me, and I'm just going to not die of COVID. That's my plan.
I also won't die of COVID, most likely.
Well, you live in St. Charles. So
but,
that.
I feel like...
I'm so sorry.
I feel like statistically, I should have already died if I was going to, because I work at a school full of children.
And they just breathe.
They breathe everywhere. They don't wear their shit properly. Throughout COVID, they never did. And like all their parents are fucking dumbasses.
See, you say that, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, but there's a woman at my place of business.
Oh, I think you're definitively calling out this woman at your place.
This woman at my place. Well, I'm not going to call her by name. But
Tammy.
We'll call her
Tammy.
Susie.
Susie.
Susie. Well, but not. Her name's Susie. But not my Susie. Not Jeff's Susie. Different Susie.
Okay, you don't work with Jeff's wife.
I do not work with Jeff's fiance.
All right,
pre-wife. But
excuse me.
This woman, she wears her mask and has always worn it. You know how some people don't understand that you breathe through your nose, and then they wear their mask and they draw it down underneath their nose?
I would rather someone didn't wear a mask than have it under their nose.
Every
it
time
is so frustrating to me.
Every time I see her, I think to myself, why is her nose big? Why do I see it? What is up with her unsightly nose? And it's just that I can see it at all. She has a perfectly normal nose.
Why can I witness the existence of your schnoz? Why is that a thing?
But she wears her mask so low, occasionally I can see like the outline of her top lip. And it's like, wear your mask. Don't wear your mask. Get out of my sight.
Whatever you do, don't let me see
be
you.
Here. Exactly.
Whatever it is that you're doing, leave this place. No, there's so many people that wear their mask below their nose, and I can't. I don't think you could have dreamt up a better allegory for human and specifically American stupidity.
I thought you were going to talk about like a willingness to be evil, and I was going to say the whole shopping cart problem is that. But this is
like
is
people not putting
stupidity.
shopping carts away. Yeah, no, that is annoying, and I hate that. People are such pieces of shit. I don't give a fuck about anyone. I hate everyone. They can all die in a fire, and you bet your ass
We
I
will.
put my fucking shotgun.
It's coming up.
My shopping
Jesus.
cart. Well, I was thinking about shooting them all with a shotgun.
Sure.
But no, you bet your ass I put my shopping cart away every time.
Well, yeah.
And I'll put away the other ones that people leave out. Like they would
If you see one and
dude,
it's
they'll
convenient,
go out of their
yeah.
way to like jack up a shopping why do I keep saying shotgun? A shopping cart
Shotgun.
onto like a curb of the.
Yeah, what the fuck is
They'll
that?
jack it up on the curb and be like, yeah, they'll spend time like getting it all fucked up and they're like, yeah, good job.
There
and
we
then they
go.
walk away. Someone
Now
will
it's
get it.
secure.
And it's almost always, dude, is there anything worse than like a middle to old aged Midwestern white lady? There is nothing worse.
I'm biased, but
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I guess cops would be a good answer. But like, you know, that notwithstanding, I feel like as bad as white dudes are, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm probably biased because I work with a bunch of old white ladies.
and are a white dude.
Do you know what I mean? Well,
Yeah.
sure, yeah,
Sure.
that too.
You got a lot of
we'll gloss
implicit
over that.
bias, yeah.
We'll gloss over that. But no, like, I don't know, man. Old white ladies are just so like. There was one at work. At lunch today. I was at lunch at there's like a bar downtown. And I was getting some food and a beer, and this lady comes in and she's like, I'm a lawyer, and the bartender's like, oh okay, and then
Just
there's
like
like
it
an
started
awkward
like
silence,
that?
and
Okay.
she's just like, we have jury duty, and the bartender's like, oh okay,
Damn.
can I do something for you? Like, do you want food? She's like, yeah, we have jury duty, and she's just like, all right, I guess you want some food then. What food do you want? And this lady's just like, I need something for everybody because jury duty.
Because of the jury duty.
I'm very busy.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of time. And they're like, okay. And so then they like go through this whole weird catering dance. And then like the lawyer's like, all right, well, I'm going to go back to work because I'm a lawyer. And I'll be back for the food because I am a lawyer.
Jury
and I don't
duty.
have time and jury duty. And I'm just like, okay, this is fucking weird. So then, like, I don't know, 15 minutes go by. It's enough time for me to like get my lunch and start eating. And the lady comes back and she's like, jury duty, is my food ready? Blah. And the waitress is like, oh, yeah, it's not ready yet. You have like a really big order, but it'll be ready soon because it's been like 15 minutes, you know. And she's like, okay, well, here's my card. And so she takes it. She's like, cool. And then, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes go by. Like, it was a pretty big, I think it was like 10 or 15 people or some shit. It was like a fucking big. And this is not
Big
like a
party.
fast food restaurant. You
Sure,
know what I
sure.
mean? Like, it's
Sit
like a
down.
fucking normal sit down restaurant.
Yeah.
And eventually she's like, ugh, I need my card back. And the waitress is like, well, you haven't gotten your food yet. And I haven't run it because your food isn't ready. And this lady's just like, meh, I have jury duty. Like, there's. This story actually goes on for 45 more minutes, but I'm just going to skip to the end where
Okay, thank you.
where the jury duty lady is angry because she has jury duty and she leaves. And I'm talking to
Does she get the food? Does she pay for it?
She got it and she paid for it, but like I was talking to the bartender and she's just like, I don't understand why people who are in a hurry come to a sit down restaurant. And I was like, I know, right? Like if this was a McDonald's, I would be like, okay. I mean,
Yeah. Prompt
even at a
service.
McDonald's, like a 10 or 15 person order is pretty
yeah,
big.
yeah.
But like you'd be like, okay, there's like an understanding. We're at a McDonald's. Like I expect food to be quick. But, like you came to a fucking
It's
restaurant.
fast food. Yeah.
You came to a restaurant and then you fucked off for literally like 15 minutes.
She
tops.
probably wasn't even resting.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I experienced that Karen today,
Mhm.
as well as it was like used uniform day, where
What?
kids and parents
With
come in
no-
at work
what?
and they pick up old uniforms or some shit.
What?
Yeah, you don't.
What do they do with the uniforms after they pick them up?
Well, they wear them.
So you just like go around and wear different outfits? What is used uniform day, Will?
How is this the thing that trips you up of all the things? So it's just, you know, we're a school. We have uniforms because we're like
At your school.
we're a private school.
Uh-huh.
Oh, did I not? I said
You
I was at
didn't-
work.
I don't. Well,
I feel
you
like I said
did.
that. I feel like
Okay,
I said
my
I was
bad.
at
My
work.
bad. Context
So
clues.
yeah,
Let's-
the used
let
uniform
me get
day
into
was
character.
not at the restaurant.
And Karen was like, "It's jury duty, but here are my scrubs." What is?
Anyway, yeah. So it was used uniform day at my work, and I had to deal with a bunch of other like Karen-y parent types. So I'm just anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Karen is the worst.
You're
no, thank you.
Worn out on that archetype.
As a white dude, I think
no one should have to suffer that indignity.
White women are worse than white men as a white man.
Okay, now if I could just slow down. Some of my best friends are white women.
Okay, but like when you think about it, aren't they awful?
Okay, I know, Jen. I know you stopped
aren't they
listening.
Like worse than cops when
Susie,
you think about it?
Susie. When you get here, I'm sorry. No, white women are not worse than cops. Cops are at the top of the bad food chain.
They might be worse than cops.
A true Karen type can't kill you. Cops can kill you.
Can't she though?
She could make me want to die, but she could never kill me.
When you think about it, isn't it worse to want to die on the inside than to be shot and murdered?
I'm going to go with no, Will.
Okay.
I'm hard
right.
no.
I think I've pushed this as far as I can take it. It's been lovely.
Week.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Sexstravaganza. What are we talking about?
Episode
what kind of sex are we talking
detailed,
about?
sexual history.
Your detailed sexual history.
Yes, detailed sexual history. Okay, so when I was in kindergarten.
No, that's mine.
What? No, hold on. I've rehearsed this whole bit. Okay. I tell you about a story about how I dated, with air quotes, a girl named Hannah in kindergarten, and we broke up because I started playing chess with the older kids. What are you talking about? Is your story different? Are you gonna? Yeah.
Alex.
Come on.
You have a rehearsed story about a made-up lady named Hannah.
No, she's a real woman.
Oh, okay.
Or
you had
I
sex
assume.
in kindergarten?
No, I didn't have sex. What are you talking? No, we kissed.
Oh, okay.
In
well, I don't know.
Dude, I was getting around. I was a big old slut in kindergarten.
You kissed someone in kindergarten?
In kindergarten. They called us Romeo and Juliet despite having never read the play. They were kindergartners.
Everybody knows.
It was me and Hannah, whose last name I don't remember.
And Hannah played chess or no?
No, I played
Only
chess.
You played chess.
I started playing chess with some of the.
If you had played
first
chess
and
with
second
Hannah,
grade.
I think that would have made you grow closer. That's probably why your relationship failed.
Exactly.
Is that
Thank
you didn't,
dear Abby?
You didn't adequately expose her to your hobbies and interests. You have to include Hannah, Alex. I can't believe
I fucked up, and now I'm like 21 years later. I don't know how old I was in kindergarten.
Well.
7?
I mean, with a name like Hannah, she's probably a white chick, and she's worse.
She
than
was
a cop.
definitely white.
She's worse than a cop, so you couldn't have missed out on that. This is my favorite callback joke forever. Beep 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 beep. Hey there, friends. We interrupt this regularly scheduled podcast for a warning that there's about to be some weird shit that gets talked about. If you're up for some weird shit, then keep listening. But if you're not up for weird shit, you've got about 10 seconds after this warning, and if you don't like the direction the weird shit's going in, you should probably bail out because it's going where you think it's going. It's going there. Anyway, don't at me. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Bye. Beep, 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 beep. So, okay, that's not a sex history.
No, I was doing a bit. What are you talking about on kindergarten, Will? You don't. If this is, you go ahead. What? If you can't talk about it, it's okay. I respect whatever you're about to tell me or not tell me.
Yeah, man, I did some sex things when I was way young. Absolutely. I don't think anyone would be surprised to hear that. I'm not gonna. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's not gonna be as funny. Although I think it's funny. Everybody else will think that it's yeah. Alex is freaking out. Let's just say I engaged in sex acts and pooped my pants in the same day. That's how young I was. But not with adults. I mean, we've all not been with there. Adults. It was all kid stuff. But yeah, that's kids, man.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's
of course.
Better.
Kids do sex things. Oh shit! This is on the podcast now.
The darndest
all right,
things.
hang on. All right, one time I was in college.
There you go. You were an adult.
And this is
You were an adult.
I was.
You were 18 years of age. You had registered for the draft.
One time I was in college, and my college professor read this story about how this like little kid had like done weird sex things with his friend when they were like 8 or something. And I was like, damn, this story's crazy. And it was like, the kid he's like depressed and sad and remorseful about whatever weird sex things they did as 8-year-olds. And he locks himself in the car because it's like a hot summer day.
Oh,
and he tries to like it. No, he doesn't try to kill himself,
death.
but he tries to like punish himself in like what he thinks is like hell because religion.
Hot car death is pretty hellish,
right?
yeah.
And he's like thinking it's hell. This is very So anyway, if you know anything about me, this will start making sense immediately. So I was like, damn, that's like a fucking wild story. I can't believe someone wrote this. And so then I'm in the middle of like, it was fictional writing, and everybody like reads a story, and then everybody has like critiques, and they ask questions, and you do like a round table. There's like 25 people in the class. And like a couple people were like, this is a fucking weird story. I didn't like it. It's kid sex. It's weird. I don't like kid sex.
I don't think you're supposed to.
What's wrong with why would you write a story about kid sex? And the lady who wrote it, she was like the teacher. This was like her like rounds, well, teacher's assistants, but she taught the class. She's like, well, you know, it's like your interpretation, but you know, it's like a lot more common than you might think or whatever. And then like 1 or 2 or 3 people were like, yeah, it's way more common than you might think. Like that happens all the time to people. And then like a couple people were like, yeah, that's a thing. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. All these people are talking about weird kid sex experiences that they had and like relating to this weird kid sex story. And I was like, damn, that's wild. I'm not going to say anything at all. And then I was like 20. And then someone was like, and I guarantee that as many of us who have just spoke up, like the 5 of us that are talking about it out of the 30, I guarantee there's at least one other person that's not speaking up. And I was like, damn, that's wild, guys. Like, it would be crazy to have had that happen to me. So anyway, I told this. So okay, so this is the 69th Sexstravaganza. This is what I was worried about. All right, hang on. This is Alex. Unsurprisingly, Alex is dying. So we're playing Smash, and Alex is like 69th episode Sexstravaganza, and I said, Alex, you're going to talk about sex then because this was your idea. And then Alex said, oh, yeah. And I knew he was full of shit and some weird crap from my past would come out on this fucking podcast and I would talk about it. But I did not in a million years think that pooping my pants and fucking children when I was a child.
But you were a child, so it was
going to be what came up right now. But yeah, I don't know. Kids do sex stuff, man. I think probably in my experience, I don't know that it's probably like weird abuse cycle shit.
It's weird. Well, hold on. What?
I was at a daycare and there were just kids doing weird sex
Fucking.
shit. No, we didn't fuck, but like it was like we were naked and they'd be like, it was like truth or dare, like put a action figure in your butthole or like weird shit. Like just weird. I was like 5.
I was a latchkey kid, and we never did.
Not
that.
a latchkey. It was like a daycare. So I think what happened is, it's totally way better. It's way better. No, I think
no.
I presume. That's so funny.
I wasn't in latchkey, Alex.
I presume some of the kids at the daycare had experienced some sort of like abuse at some point, because there were these 2 kids specifically named Billy and Nacy, who were like brother
but not Billy.
No, not that Billy.
Okay,
Billy.
good. Thank God.
But that Billy probably got abused too. Let's be real. But these 2 kids, I think like maybe their parents like fucked with them, or I don't know what happened, because it started as like a weird, like they would like say weird shit, and then it got like progressively like weirder. And then it was like all the kids got in on the whole. It was like, dude, I mean, I don't know, man. I think I really do. I know there's. God, this is like the end of our podcast at this point. Everybody's gonna be like, "There's literally an episode about child sex now." we can't listen. But like, I do think it happens way more than people realize. Like, if my experiences are any indication, it's actually not. So it's not. Well, normal's like a bad word, but like, it's not common. But it actually, I don't think is uncommon at all. And I don't know that I would think that if I hadn't had that experience in college where like the fucking story session occurred. But I mean, it was like a 20 or 30 person class.
Yeah.
And there were like fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Well, no, I wasn't included.
No, 5, 6.
And they were like, oh no, like I can talk about, like, because it's college and people are weird. They don't know anybody and they're like weirdly open about shit. And like clearly the person who wrote it had probably had some like similar experience.
Probably.
I feel like, I mean, I'm not an expert on this subject matter. I'm just a person with experiences. But if I were to guess, I would think it would be somewhere between like a fifth and a fourth of kids or something. I wouldn't be
20,
surprised.
25%.
It might be a lot lower, but like it's not like 1% or some crazy. It's like a decent chunk. I don't know. Kids are weird anyway, but they do things. It's not. I don't know. Okay, so since you've gotten us on this topic,
Yeah, as long as we're here.
when was the first time you touched your pee-pee, Alex? Tell us. I'm sure it'll be much younger for me, and everyone can wait and guess on the number. Were you like a teenager? Were you 8?
No, I wasn't 8. I feel like I was a teenager.
You were a teenager before you jacked off? That's wild.
Okay, hold on.
That's fucking unfathomable to me.
This is going to be the wrong way to express this.
Can we even upload this episode? I don't know. I feel like we have to keep going, and if people are listening, it'll happen. And if we can't,
You guys, okay, here's your content warning. We're going to keep talking about sex.
Yeah, like if you
I'm
guys
sorry.
weren't already triggered by
It's
kid
the
sex,
Sexstravaganza.
it's the 69th episode.
Fuck.
This is the last episode of the podcast, guys. We're 100% canceled after this.
No, okay, what I'm going to say isn't a cancelable offense.
Oh no,
no,
Alex
that's
can't
fine.
handle it.
I know that I was of jerking off age by the time Yu-Gi-Oh came out.
Did you have an awakening from a Yu-Gi-Oh character?
No.
Oh well.
No, I did not.
All right.
Okay, you get
I told you had to. If you suggested this topic, motherfucker, we could have talked about video games.
No, we
This
couldn't
is on
have.
you.
It's the 69th
This is on
episode.
you,
This was all predetermined. I made a call when I was like, how old was I when Yu-Gi-Oh was airing?
Fuck, I don't know.
14. At some point,
I feel like you were younger than that because you're younger than me, and 14 sounds like when I was seeing you. I mean, I never watched it, but it was on TV. You're probably like between 10 and 14.
I feel like I had to make a judgment call as a young teenager or preteen where I was like, am I going to watch today's episode? It's Saturday morning. Am I going to watch today's episode or am I going to jerk off?
So
that's the only reason I remember.
I think what's really interesting to me about like just from a time standpoint is even as like fucking horny as I've been my entire life and like dealt with like
Tell me you've never jerked off to anime. Is that what you're about to say?
No,
Okay.
I absolutely have.
Thank God.
Absolutely have. But it was
Okay.
always as an informed adult. That's my point. Is like I feel like I saw Misty in Pokemon
Okay, hold on.
and was like,
Yeah, obviously.
obviously you're like, hell yeah, I want to fucking do some things with that lady. But it was like I was young enough that it wasn't like well, I mean where I was I've been jacking off since I was like 2 years old. Like I think I've been jacking off since I could like
2 seems
before
early.
I could even speak.
That seems early. I'm not a doctor.
So, well, how much detail do you want? Probably not that much. But I've been sexually aware. I didn't know what I was doing.
Sure.
But like I've been orgasming as long as I can remember, literally. Like kids.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah, kids. Well, kids do that as like I think they do it as like stress relief and shit or something, and they like don't.
Adults do it as stress relief.
Well,
too,
obviously, but
speaking
I
from
think it just kind
personal
of like happens.
experience.
So like I remember being like 2 or some shit, and I remember like humping a stuffed animal or something.
Really?
And like my sister coming in and being like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What? I don't know. I'm just like doing stuff." And then I just remember like having a conversation with my sister while I'm like raw dogging a teddy bear, like. And she's like, "That's weird. You should stop doing that." And I'm like, "I don't know. It feels good. Leave me alone." Like every time I tell this story to anybody, they think it's like so fucking weird. But I am very positive that it is like a lot less abnormal than people like to make it sound like. But anyway, point being, I did not, despite raw dogging blankets and stuffed animals when I was 2. Okay, I did not jack off to fucking Misty from Pokemon. Ever, I don't think. Which is weird. I think.
Are you saying that
to
today, the year of our Lord 2021, you haven't jerked off to Misty?
Oh well.
Okay.
Not in like the original series,
Well,
but
sure,
I mean,
no.
I've been on 4chan with Misty gifts.
with adult Misty
Yeah.
gifts.
Oh God, no, I'm not above
okay,
that.
okay.
Get out of here.
I was going to accuse you of being a prude.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
But I don't think I ever did the show as a kid. Like it didn't. I don't know. It didn't like. It didn't seem sexual to me. But also,
The show wasn't sexual. Are you saying masturbation wasn't sexual?
No, the show, but like, yeah. But like, I think, okay, yeah, as an adult, it's like, porn turns me on. Things are hot. I will masturbate and do things. But like, as a kid, at the ripe age of 2 or 3 or 10,
You were verbal if you were talking to your sister.
yeah, probably. I mean, you can talk when you're 2, but you know, it was probably before then.
You probably didn't have
I
much
am
to talk
certain
about.
I have been masturbating since before I could remember that I was masturbating.
That's
and
wild
I
to
definitely specifically remember masturbating when I was young enough to like have a blankie and like a fucking diaper, like absolutely, like 100%. But anyway, I didn't think it was never like a stimulation, like a visual stimulation. So like as like a grown human. You like see it, especially I think as a dude, you like hot thing, boob, ass,
Titties, yeah.
tits, butt. Like I am horny now, jack off. But like it wasn't really that way. It would just be like I'd be like playing with my action figures, and then you're just like you get like a weird thing, and you're like, I guess I'm kind of bored. I'll go do that thing that I don't know what it is.
I don't have a name for it yet.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll
the
go,
Mamma Mia.
I'll go. I'll the Mamma Mia. The Mamma Mia.
Okay, Jeff, you're not going to get that joke. Hold on, let me slow down.
The Mamma Mia. You can't explain it. You can't explain the Mamma Mia. You can't. No.
In Smash, people were talking about wake up DPs as though they had invented them with Ryu, because Ryu's Dragon Punch in Smash, just like every Ryu, is invulnerable. And they were like, I call it the Mamma Mia.
Alex, people don't want to hear about this. They want to hear about kids.
They want to hear about
fucking.
kids fucking. Excuse me.
Jesus.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
We're going to upload this, right?
I don't know.
Are we? No?
I don't know.
You don't have to.
I'm going to do the whole podcast. I can tell you that
obviously.
at this point. Oh, God. This is a conversation I will have with anyone at a certain point in my like relationship with them, right? Because it'll be like, this explains why I'm weird in some ways.
Sure.
But like, I don't know. Am I gonna tweet this podcast? Am I gonna
Hey everybody!
Am I gonna be like, hey guys, the episode 69 of the Metal Lex podcast is out where we talk about me blowing dudes and pooping my pants in the same day. You're like, what the fuck? I put a He-Man figurine in someone's vagina when I was 4 and then peed my pants.
I can't tell where you're being hyperbolic.
Everything is accurate. There is no hyperbole, Alex. Yeah, man. I did some wild shit when I was like a little baby, dude.
Damn, dude.
I don't know, man. Like it was
Go
all
off.
kids. I never got like abused by anybody, so I don't know. I know people who
That's good.
I know people who have like been proper like abused, right?
Yeah,
By
yeah.
like power dynamic shit. And, like that seems way more fucked up. Like I feel like it's pretty normal, but like it's just super taboo to talk about because it's like fucking weird kid shit. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know, I don't know. I was fucking 5 and there's like weird other 5-year-olds doing weird shit. I don't know. I had like a working mom, working dad.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time in daycare. I feel like there were some weird, I can never decide if it was just a thing that happened or if like maybe those 2 kids were probably abused and that's why they like were introduced to sex stuff. But regardless, I was already masturbating on my own before that ever happened.
Sure.
Like, so it's not like that. It's not like the weird daycare shit caused me to be sexual.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
Like I was already sexual, like on my own.
You were aware. You had already had the awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was already, I mean, I didn't, you don't know. You never know. I remember being in second grade. The teacher with Lil Billy from that podcast. We had like a teacher's aide and that teacher's aide was like, I need you to stop giving me googly eyes in the back of the classroom. And I would basically like look at this teacher. This teacher's aide was probably like 30 or some shit. I don't know. She was not 80 years old like my teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wow, she's so pretty. And then I would I would just like hump my desk in the middle of class.
And like maintain eye contact and establish dominance over the TA or whatever.
Like a third grader. But you don't know. You don't know what you're doing. I'd be like, things feel weird. This seems necessary. And then I would just like, and then
not like this is good or this relieves stress, but this is necessary.
Yeah, pretty well. I don't know, man. Like fucking weird sex relief is like, it's like a sneeze or something. Like you got to get it out. And when you're a kid,
I didn't sneeze until I was like 13 or whatever. is what I'm getting at. You know what I did?
You did not. You're telling me you did not have any awareness of your dick until you were 13 years old.
I'm not telling you that.
Oh, okay.
There were certain situations in media, and I will not elaborate. It's nothing illegal. There were certain situations in media, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with my dick? And
what's that about?
Yeah, so I didn't know, but apparently I had a fetish or whatever at like 4, but the numbers are wrong. We'll say 13, 8. I don't know. I don't remember how old I was. Do you remember when you had your first boner? No. Don't look at me confused.
So I don't know when I had. No, I had plenty of boners when I was a kid, but weirdly, most of the time when I would masturbate as a kid, it was always like flaccid. Alex is so. Alex doesn't understand anything.
No, it's
you
not
can
that.
you can get like a lot of pressure on your dick in like certain positions, right? Like, and if you just apply pressure, you'll have the feel goods, and so I would just do that, and then and actually like a boner, because I didn't like jack off in like a conventional way until I was like actually old enough to like have proper normal weird sex stuff or whatever. But like teens. But like, yeah, pretty much from when I was like 2 to like, I don't know, 12 or 13 or some shit, it would just be like push really hard up against a thing. And if I got a boner, I'd be like, that's annoying. I can't have the good feels if I have the boner.
It's unwieldy.
Yeah, it gets in the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, my penis is very normal. And remember when we did a deep dive into my penis?
And it was...
And now that's like the surface level. Looking back on the episode, Alex is so uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable. I have to figure out how to phrase certain things, and that slows me down a little bit.
But that's a thing you can do. I don't know. I think part of it is I think just being younger, like you literally can't come until you have puberty, and I went through puberty like yesterday. Like I think
you're like 6 feet tall now. It's great.
Now I'm almost. But no. I think. I guess I was probably like 18 almost by the time I like puberty really kicked in. It was like I had like 2 hairs on my dick when I was like 17, and I was like, oh boy, that's.
Did you sound like Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
But yeah, no, I remember like puberty happening, and then like it suddenly made more sense to like jack off in a normal way. But like as a kid or whatever, it was usually not. Like I don't think I ever orgasmed with an erection like for like 15 years almost or some shit. Like I just didn't know how to do it. It just didn't
come naturally to you.
There's no fucking way we're uploading this. There's no fucking way we're uploading this episode. I'm gonna put this in like a fucking dark web place with a password, so you can give it to like Jeff and Jen, just so you don't feel like you're crazy and you dreamed it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a real question, and it's okay.
Oh yeah, whatever. Hey man, we're either uploading it or we aren't at this point.
I haven't said, for my part, I don't believe anything that I wouldn't feel comfortable with the general internet knowing. So you have my consent.
The problem with me is I'm not positive where I'm at. Like, there's part of me that's like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. This is really entertaining.
And then the other part of
you. And then there's part of me that's like,
Will. So.
Anyway, if I ever have a job in the future, they can link back to the episode about how I
Episode
had kids
69?
sex on episode 69.
So what I'm asking you is, do you want to finish the episode,
I don't know.
or do you want to? You shook your head no.
I don't know.
Or do you want to start from the top?
I don't think we can start from the top.
We do have to record a 69th episode.
I don't know. You're saying like we do a new episode where we're like, hey guys, this is episode
Welcome to
69 where we talk about
Smash.
Street Fighter 6. And then we just have a totally normal podcast. There's no way that's happening.
Okay.
There's no way that's happening. How did we get here? You said something.
I said Sexstravaganza,
Yeah.
and then I talked about, I was like, my sexual history, the joke being that in kindergarten I kissed
It was because
a girl.
you started about kindergarten. It's all your fault. That's why.
In a sense,
That's
it's all my
why.
fault.
That's why my brain went there. Because you were like, in kindergarten I kissed a girl, and I was like, well, Alex,
Alex,
let me
you fucking baby. I've been masturbating since before I knew my own name. I am who jerks.
Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah. No, fuck, man. I don't. I think that's why it is like such a difficult. That's why it is such like a difficult, weird topic, because there's so much like taboo about it, and let me be clear. I think like people sexualizing kids, and I'm not like obviously like fucking pedophiles.
Obviously,
like,
yeah, that's
I'm not,
bad.
I'm not talking about that. But I'm
Bad.
talking about like, you ever have like parents be like, oh, my 12-year-old is dating this 11-year-old. It's so cute. Like, my parents never did any of that shit. Like, I think that shit's fucked up. Like, I fucking hate when people are like, oh yeah, you're 14. It's time to date. And you can always tell it's like the parents are like vicariously living weird shit through their like preteen kids by like forcing them and encouraging them to like date and do shit. It's super weird. I never had any experiences like that. You know what I mean? It was all like
I
super-
dated in high school.
well, high school's I
was 14
dated,
in high school.
I dated when I was a senior at like the very end of high school.
Not me.
So when did you start dating?
End of freshman year. It was either the end of freshman year
So you were
or
like,
second semester.
is that 15 or some shit? 14, 15?
14.
So did
for
you
me.
just dated?
14, 15.
You just did. You were like, I'm gonna
Yo, I went steady with Caitlin from
Caitlin
Winnett.
McButt.
I'm not gonna say her last name. I'm not gonna dox her.
McButtholington. Caitlin McButtholington.
Yeah, she was nice. We dated from I think the end of freshman year until the freshman year of college. She dumped me on my birthday. It was kind of funny.
But like, okay, did you just like have just a random impetus to be like, I'm gonna date this person?
Okay, so again,
You're telling me like your dad or mom wasn't like, wouldn't it be cute if Caitlin thinks you're neat?
No.
Caitlin wants to lick your butthole and
No.
eat your anus.
My parents did not egg that on. I was like, damn, she's got red hair.
I forgot.
I was a predictable 14-year-old
That was
or
your
whatever.
shtick.
Yeah, was my shtick.
Yeah.
No, I dated, and it was, the normal amount of weird for a first relationship, I think.
14.
I think I was 14. I could have been 15.
Yeah.
This is bad because I can't
I
remember
definitely,
when we
I
started
definitely
dating.
thought I thought chicks were cute and stuff when I was like 14, but I didn't. Well, there's a good amount of me not dating too, though, that is also like weird Catholicism guilt based on aforementioned kid fucking. That was like there was like a non-0% of early dating life that I probably missed out on because I was like, what if I go on a date with a girl and we kiss and I don't like it, and then I'm gay and Jesus shuns me from heaven and I burn forever?
When you were a
in-
child, you had that going on?
Oh yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I was mentally tortured by
That's pretty
religion
bad.
for like a million years.
I understand your adamance. Is that a
of
word?
religion.
Yeah.
My adamance for the awful. No, I mean,
That's pretty fucked
I would,
up, man.
I would like. Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
Oh dude, there's way more. There's way more. All kinds of great things about that. But like, yeah, no, that's like a big part of. Like my shitty relationship with religion is related to all that because there's a lot of like. Well, okay. Imagine you have the sex experiences that I have, like at a young age,
Sure.
which are as normal or abnormal as you want them to be, but not, completely. At the very least, you must concede they're not like really as crazy as you probably think
They could
are.
be uncommon or rare, but not like.
So
Yeah.
you have those, and then like I'm going to like public school religion, and they're like, don't have
look
sex.
at your penis. Yeah.
Well, don't ever touch your dick because that's evil. But more importantly,
Fall
don't
right
ever
off.
have sex. You're gonna have 1 million babies. You're gonna get 50,000 STDs, and you're gonna die. And then I was like, well, that's weird. I've already sucked like 5 dicks and put my hands in like 10 vaginas, and I don't. That seems okay. I guess I'm evil. Like, do you know what I mean though? Like going to like a fucking abstinent sex ed.
I don't know that.
Okay, so
that's what's wild
like
to me.
going to
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
abstinent sex ed to be like, God loves you, but he'll kill you forever and make you burn for eternity, and you'll be tortured for an infinite amount of time that you can't comprehend because you're 8 years
You
old.
can't imagine
and also
100.
because no human
Imagine
could.
infinity.
It's
yeah.
unimaginable, infinite torture you'll go to if you ever touch someone before marriage. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm like,
Oh,
10
gee.
I have like 10 infinite tortures ahead of me, and then that's not even including all the dudes. Like, so yeah, man. Yeah, no, I was, oh man, if we can get really dark, yeah, that is why I think religion is literally child abuse.
Well, yeah.
Because for me, it literally was.
Yeah.
And I was not directly like abused by my parents ever. My parents are the shit.
Sure.
But I was indirectly abused as a child, and it was like supported by my mom.
By the
Like,
religion.
because she'd be
you're
like,
saying.
"Oh no, we have to go to church. This is
Yeah.
all blah."
Where they can
and, like-
teach you to be confused about the things that you've done.
Yeah.
Not knowing what you were doing.
No,
'cause
it
you were a
really
child.
fucked me up for like
Yeah.
a really, really long time. That's a pretty core thing. I'm sure there's a lot of like wheels turning for anybody who like remotely has ever wondered why I'm so fucking weird. This is definitely like a rather large piece of said puzzle. It's not the only piece, but yeah, man, like, and it's fucked up too, because like if you think about it, like, well, even like fuck, dude, even in the context of this podcast and all of the like waffling, just the societal pressure of the fact that you are even acknowledging a thing that occurred and was fine, irrespective of religion, is enough to even make someone who is as like, dare I say, bombast and strong-willed as me kind of be like,
I don't know about all that. Yeah.
yeah. And that doesn't even include the religious part, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would still be that way, even just like societally, because America or whatever the fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty weird. Like, it's definitely not a thing I normally talk about. Like, you were saying that before, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know. We'll see. If you're listening to this, then you're welcome.
Neat. And if not, like,
but yeah,
obviously.
like it's a thing. Like, I've definitely like, I don't know. I've been like really close to like my high school friends, like for the most part of my life. I could tell them like most things, and I only told them all of this like maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
Because it's one of those things. Like, I feel like now I can be like, yeah, I understand it. It's all fine, and I get it. But even like, fuck, dude, even like into my mid-20s, it was a thing that I was like, oh man, if anybody like knew, like,
that'd get you
what is
some
that?
kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, but like, it's fucking crazy because like, I think that's, God, I don't know. It's just so rooted in our culture to like.
There's a lot of inherent shame to the sexual identity and experience.
Yeah, and I think
America.
people like they try to act like if you're. I don't know, there was a tweet like a couple months ago that someone was like, I'd never read anything like this. Someone was like, sometimes people are hypersexual as a way to like deal with trauma, and I was like, what the fuck?
How did you at me without adding
what
me?
What is this fucking tweet right now? I've never read those words in my life. That's making an awful lot of sense. But yeah, like people, it's okay. I'm gonna equate this to so many things. It's like any woke anything. I'm gonna be a fucking internet incel libertarian Republican for 5 seconds.
Oh, no.
But it's one of those things where like, you know, like they say weird shit where they're like, oh, people are trying to be woke, but then they do weird dumb thing instead. And it's like they're usually full of shit, but like I don't know. I feel a lot that way about this subject where like you'll try to like talk about like sex or something, and then someone will be like, "Oh, that's like fucked up. This is a space for blah, and you can't blah." And then you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm supposed to just feel like an ashamed piece of shit for my lived experiences that are very real and actually normal. But like, you can't. So yeah, man, I don't know. That shit's pretty fucked up. Like, you basically like. I feel like every time I have this conversation, I'm like, I think the rooted fear is that someone's gonna be like, "You're a pedophile," and I'm like, no. I was child.
You had some experiences as a child.
Yeah, but it's really hard to not like assume someone's gonna like freak out or have that like weird reaction. And I think that just kind of sucks because when I think about like the percentage of people, like I don't know what it is, right? But it's like it's not that small of a percentage of people from at least what I've seen. But it's still that way. Like, it's still super fucking taboo. And I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, that's probably why I didn't, like, date anybody. Because I was always I was always really terrified. Like, once you get away from it, and then everybody's like, even as, like, fucking a 10-year-old or some shit, like, you get away from it, you're like, oh, I remember I, like, did weird things at daycare, and, like, I guess I'd rather just not think about it. And if I date someone, then I have to think about sex things again. And then it's going to like make me remember all of the things that I'm supposed to not think about because God doesn't like them and God will punish me for all eternity. So yeah, man, I don't know. That's just pretty crazy. But anyway, yeah, that's my kindergarten.
When I was in when I was in Latchkey in grade school, they had some like summer school type thing where your parents could deposit you and they could pick you up. It was like, you know how school functions partially as a daycare.
Yeah, I'm a latchkey kid. I'm a latchkey kid.
Did you do the summer break latchkey experience?
Not every summer, but at least one or two. Yeah. So I did do summer latchkey at least once or twice. Yeah.
So I had that, and it was the year that Good Burger came out, and everyone saw a Good Burger, and they had these sandwich holders, sandwich containers, and I remember being a part of this ring of kids. We would all take the sandwich containers and like paint them the colors of a burger.
Okay.
It's like a profoundly different experience than you've described.
I actually was trying to like
wait for the drop,
and listen to your story. I should have known better.
I mean, like I dated in high school, and I know you're not supposed to kiss and tell, but like also I didn't have sex in high school.
When did you have sex?
When I was in college.
How old were you?
My heart says 18, but it's probably 17.
See, and that's what's so interesting. Like, you have me beat. I didn't have sex till I was 20 or almost 21. I was like damn near 21 when I had sex. Because I was 20 when I first drank.
2008. At the start of 2008, I would have been 17. I got dumped on my birthday. I was 18. 18 years old.
Oh, you got dumped and were sad and then fucked?
There's a couple more weeks involved, but yeah.
Was still sad? Still fucked?
Nah, I don't think I was still sad. What a weird experience that was, getting dumped. So I had just gone to college, and I was still dating my high school girlfriend, and we were at the same college. And like a couple weeks into college, she was like, I don't know, maybe I could do better. On my birthday. And I was like, all right, fair, maybe.
I haven't been dumped many times, but
you
like...
You have not?
I haven't dated...
Every time I've been in a relationship, I've been dumped.
You've never dumped... Have you ever dumped anyone?
Except for with Jen, who I have not dumped. I'm engaged to her, in fact.
But you've never dumped anyone?
I've never dumped anyone.
Alex.
Yeah, well.
That is like the most Alex thing I've ever heard.
Is it?
Yeah.
What about that strikes you as Alex?
You're just like, man, you know, I'm just always stock tanking. And
I thought it was safe to take a drink. Thank God I thought better of it.
You're like, I'm just always stock tanking, man. And, if they take my last stock, that's cool. I don't ever... It was fine. I'm sure you have nothing bad to say about anyone who's ever dumped you.
That's not true.
Okay.
What's
the shittiest relationship you've ever had?
The one after I was dumped by my high school girlfriend.
The first sexer.
The first sexer.
That was bad.
The virginity stealer.
Why bad? Have you ever taken someone's virginity?
Do what?
Have you ever taken someone's virginity?
No.
Me either.
I've only had my virginity.
Same. Although for you, that's way funnier.
Yeah. Let me not disparage anybody, because I know that I have listeners who are potentially still friends with the virginity stealer.
What?
Yeah.
You have still connections to someone you dated when you were in college? Damn, bro. You like people so much more than I do. To maintain that relationship, you're still stock tanking, man. Right now, that dead,
it's not that bad.
Dead game. You're stock tanking.
It's not that bad.
You're stock taking, right? No. It's not that bad.
No,
you've never had a truly bad relationship because you're just so goddamn amicable.
Again, I'm not going to go that far.
All right, okay.
Because again,
things were bad.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, things get kind of bad. What's the question? Do I have a mean thing to say? I don't know. I think,
it was it was like, what's the worst relationship you've ever had?
Yeah.
First it was, have you dumped anybody? But
I've never dumped anybody. The virginity taker was a mean cuss.
A mean cuss?
A mean cuss, I'll say.
What does that even mean?
Well,
like she cussed you out and was mean?
No. So to use cuss, the literal word cuss in position of something is like a...
Are you saying cunt? Are you trying to say cunt?
I would never.
You're trying to say cunt right now.
I would never
Alex,
say that.
You just said cunt. You put the word cunt in my head.
I didn't mean to.
Well, yes, you did. Own up. You might as well say it. If you're gonna say the C word,
no,
you might as well say it.
No, you could take that to mean like a mean old bastard. I don't in this instance, but you could.
You're like, I would like to clarify that I mean cunt. This is Alex's inner monologue right now.
Things feel like they're going to certain. I was young and in love, and so
How long was that relationship?
4 years.
Whoa! That is not what I expected you to say.
I'm a serial monogamist. I dated Caitlin in high school for my high school career.
You wait, say it again. You dated what?
Caitlin in high school.
Oh, Caitlin in high school. Caitlin McButthole. We said that earlier.
Last name I won't say. Yeah.
Yes. And then you dated this other... the
virginity taker for 4 years.
You dated cunt number one, as you so eloquently called her.
And then I dated Josie. She was very nice. It didn't work out. She needed other things in life, and I couldn't provide those things, and that was fine. And then I started dating Jen.
You're so vague that I don't even know why you speak.
What are you talking about?
What is the point of you speaking? What the fuck is wrong with you?
What are you asking?
I'm not asking anything. I'm just saying, this is like, you're like, well, what did you do today? And I'm like, well, I existed, and that was fine. That's like what you just said. You're like, I dated a lady. Her name was Bobette, and she was nice.
Josie was nice. She was friendly.
What things couldn't you provide, Alex?
I could not adequately determine the rate at which our relationship was progressing. And on top of that, she had certain emotional requirements that I was not quite able to meet. And I don't want to put her on blast, because again, this isn't like, I'm not blaming her.
Is everyone you've ever dated someone who still has connections to you in some weird way through friends?
Josie has zero connections. She just did nothing wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, just fine. It just didn't work out. Sometimes that's how relationships are.
I fucking hate your shitty vagueness so much.
After the podcast, which may or may not be on the internet.
Alex, look, man. I can't believe you're doing me like this.
How?
How dare you not expose the most
I don't
the
mind,
most intimate details of your
I don't mind
psyche.
exposing almost all of the most intimate details of my own psyche to the world, but I don't feel that I should do that for Josie because I don't know who listens to this. And again,
Okay.
she didn't do anything wrong. She was
That's fair.
fine. It just
That's
didn't work
fair.
out.
I feel that way about people I've dated recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't like air a bunch of shitty, dirty laundry for anyone the last, like, I don't know, 5 years or so. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about like the chick I dated in high school or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know. But I guess I don't have any interesting stories about anyone from high school or anything either. I dated, like I said, I dated like one chick in high school, and then I was with my ex for like 10 million years.
Damn. So you're almost a serial monogamist.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I have a rough relationship with monogamy. Like, I can never decide. I feel like polyamory is also shitty. I feel like they're both shitty.
It won't work for me. I don't play well with others.
But what the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know that I would feel comfortable with either sleeping around myself or having a partner who slept around. That's the word. That's how you conjugate.
Yeah. So, sure. I think, okay. I mean, that's fair, but I feel like that's sort of almost like beside the point. I think depending on how you slice it. So you can like definitely be polyamorous and just like fuck a billion people. But I feel like there are a lot of people who are polyamorous who have like basically a pretty standard serial monogamous relationship and just look for other potential
while
very
still
strong,
being involved
very
with
strong
the wild.
connections.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And like so yeah, I mean you could definitely just fuck like a million people.
I'm
and that's the thing.
not knocking polyamory as a concept.
Don't even insult me by trying to act like it's necessary to say that. I don't obviously give a fuck about that one way or the other. But what I'm talking about is like I think at least, and I've never done this successfully, and this is kind of where like it's always like a struggle for me. But I think there are people. Well, I know there are. I've talked to a couple. I've actually matched with a few people when I was still doing online dating, which I'm not currently. But like when I was doing more online dating and shit, I've matched with a couple people who were like poly, but they had like 2 partners they had been with for like 5 years. And I was like, "You're still looking for like another partner?" And they're like, "Well, not really. It's more like I'm just kind of like always
keeping your
available."
options open. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and like, there's parts of that make sense to me. There's parts of that feel awful. Like, fuck, man, I don't know. I don't know. I think they both suck, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, monogamy sucks because you're always wondering about a thing or whatever the fuck. And like, having been in a monogamous relationship for over a decade, I feel like I have more than enough credentials to speak about this. Like, much less being, fucking cheated on in a monogamous relationship.
Doesn't that fucking suck?
While maintaining monogamy myself, like, yeah,
hypothetically,
it does fucking suck really hard. But like, I feel like I could do either under the right circumstances. I feel like I'd be way more likely to succeed with monogamy, and I feel like I'll always be that way. But I honestly only think the only reason I feel that way is because I'm like conditioned to, like, societally or whatever. And literally the only reason I'm not poly is because it would take a lot of effort to break the indoctrinated monogamy that's been instilled within me. And that just seems super unnecessary and like a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, like a waste of time.
It's a total waste of time.
Yeah,
like I fully think
yeah.
the only reason I do think I'm more aligned towards monogamy than poly. I don't feel like I'm like 100%.
Sure.
But like, I think it's way more likely that I would be monogamous. Like I always pretty much am. Like I've only dated more than one person for like maybe a year or 2 at most in my entire dating life ever. And even then it was like 2 people. And one of them was like someone I saw once a month. And the other was like the person that rotated in. It was when I was seeing that Kim chick who was out of town. So I would see Kim like once a month, and she was fucking cool, but she was like not emotionally available for a real relationship and lived in another state and was going through a divorce. And so I would see her, and I would like want to do things with her, but then she was like, I'm not available, do whatever the fuck you want. And I'd be like, all right, cool. And then I would date. And then I'd like every once in a while things would overlap. And it would always be kind of weird because I'd be like, even though I knew it was cool and I was always upfront about it, I would always tell like the other person, I'd be like, well, there's a person I see, I don't know really what it is. That's a thing. If you're cool with that, that's fine. If you're not, you can fuck off. Like I totally get that. And even then it was like, it was fine. It was a little weird, but it was fine. But like, I'm so positive that all of that is just like instilled societal bullshit that I wouldn't care about. Like if I was, it's just like religion or any other fucking thing. Like if I was born in a completely different society, but I was otherwise the exact same person in terms of like, you know,
would you feel the same way?
There's
no way for you to know.
There's no chance that I would feel the same way.
Really?
There's no way. There's no, well, okay. I mean, the chance would be based on, it's a learned behavior, period.
Sure.
Is what I'm getting at. I don't think my own, I think it's so, at least in my current lived experience of this life of existence, I think so much of that is just instilled values that existed societally, religiously, within the family, yada, yada, yada. I don't think any of that has anything to do with rational thought. Because when I think rationally, literally monogamy is the dumbest fucking thing I could ever imagine in my entire life. You're a fucking idiot if you're monogamous.
Oof.
And I'm probably in that camp.
You're probably an idiot, you're saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm way more monogamous than I'm not. I'm not like you where
sure.
I'm like completely 100% like, but if you, fuck, I don't know. If I put it on a piece of paper, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm like, I would say there's like 70-30 odds.
But
like there's non-zero
monogamous?
chance I could do a poly thing and it could work, but the odds of it is like 30%. It's like way below half, right? It's way more likely that I would be in a monogamous relationship and that would be where I'd
be fine for you or whatever.
Yeah. But like when I look at that objectively, which is a thing I can do, it is a superpower I have. I can be like, all right, like hang on, let's step back and think about it. Makes no fucking sense. There's no fucking scenario where monogamy ever makes any sense. It's the dumbest fucking thing of all time. There's no reason. I mean, why? Okay, let me put it this way. I am 100% positive. And check me if you have a longer relationship experience than I do. You probably don't, listeners, but you know, let me know.
You're old as shit. Yeah.
I'm old as shit, and I have a really fucking long relationship that, although it ultimately exploded in flames, was pretty good for X amount of time.
For some number of years.
Despite shitty awfulness therein in different ways. But like, there's a lot of good in there too, right? Like a lot of good, bad things. It happens, you know, relationships, right? But point being, if you look at that, there is like no scenario where that makes sense because for my money, every person that you love, it's platonic. There is no difference between loving someone you fuck and loving someone you don't fuck. If you love them, you love them. And whether you fuck or not is like a whole different thing that doesn't connect to that. Like, I love my brother and my dad and my mom, and I loved my ex. And I fucked my ex, and I didn't fuck my mom or my dad or my brother. But,
Good.
but the love, like your relationship can have different dynamics. But like once you love someone, that's just that. Like it's like, for me, love is like someone you care about. Even if you like fucking like hate them, they could do the dumbest shit of all time. They could fucking like, well, they could do some fucking awful shit, and no matter what they do, you still care about them. No matter what. That exists regardless of whether you fuck somebody. So, for my money, monogamy is the dumbest fucking thing of all time because you can only fuck somebody so many times before eventually you've done all the fucking and you're going to wonder about some things.
What?
Oh, that's real. No. Like I'm sorry, dude. Like, get back to me in another fucking 5 years.
Describe the wondering that you're wondering.
There's just only so many times you can fuck someone before you're like, all right. like I haven't fucked anyone in like a decade ever. Like either the sex becomes less sex or you do other things. I just think that's inevitable. At least it was in my case. Like now there were other issues, right? Like she was fucking doing weird shit and like things, but like for me it was like, I don't know. We did not fuck very often the last like year of my relationship, and there were a lot of issues that caused that to be the case, right? Like, so it's not 100. I'm not saying like 100%. Like, there's like some specific timer. Like, I think that it's absolutely accurate and possible that people could fuck for 10 or 20 years and be fine. But there's some amount. I feel like everybody has a breaking point.
I haven't gotten there yet.
I'm sure you haven't. But like, how long have you been fucking the same person?
7 years.
Yeah. I wasn't there yet either at 7, is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm not trying to put a hex on your shit.
And you like, can't.
Well,
I'm
obviously,
hexproof, yeah.
obviously, I wouldn't disrespect you that way, the way you disrespected me a few moments ago.
When did I disrespect you?
When you were like, you were trying to clarify something, and I forget what it was.
Oh, yeah, okay,
I was like, how fucking dare you think
how dare you say that you don't disapprove of polyamory despite not engaging in it? Yeah, okay.
So like, yeah, everybody's shit is different.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like guaranteed that like it's not going to work. I hope I didn't.
No. It does not come across as you haven't said that.
But I think like anyone, it's like, fuck, I don't know. Let's use an analogy. Like your
Street Fighter.
Your favorite fighting game.
Yeah.
After so many years, even though you love the game and it's the best game ever, you've just done all the things you can do, and you want to probably play a different game. And
as much time as I've spent in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3's training mode, sometimes I want to play Skullgirls, is what you're saying. Sometimes I'm excited for, maybe I see Melty Blood passing in the street.
Yeah.
And I think, wouldn't that be nice?
That's literally exactly what I'm saying. And I think it is, yeah, I see. No, what's great is that is such a good analogy that you are completely, you're just like, God damn it, Will, I can't. Yeah, because it's accurate. So here's the thing, like that's just true. And it basically becomes a question of like, is your relationship set up in the dynamic to deal with that or not? How much is it worth or how much is it not worth? Right. And I think you can have a totally healthy relationship and be like, it is not worth it to ever do anything else. Mm-hmm. I will be happy with this. I think that's totally a possibility. It's not my point to say that, again, I'm not making the argument of like, yeah, like a woman reaches a certain age and she wants to have babies. Everything is fated. Like whatever. Sure. That. I'm not saying anything like that. But I do think that is a very natural, there's like a fucking bug flying on me. I do think that's like I do think that's a very
how long is the net?
A long net. I do think that's a very natural like place to land upon just as a human. And I think societally we have disincentivized ever exploring that, or even farther than that, we've demonized any element of that to the point where people just, it's like you're so terrified. And I remember like having conversations with my ex about like, oh yeah, like, do you think you'd ever be open to a thing or not? And then everybody's always like, oh well, that's why she cheated on you. She was trying to blah. I'm like, no, like
no. It's more
complicated. It was a healthy
that,
conversation. Yeah. Like it's fine. Like maybe also she was already cheating on me at that point. It's hard to know, but regardless, that can be a healthy conversation and was a normal conversation, right? Like at the time for me, but like that. I remember having that conversation and being like, conceptually, it seems like that's a thing we should be fine with. And then I was like, in practice, like,
would not enjoy.
I don't know if I would be able to deal with it. I think I would be like too jealous and it would be bad.
That's how I feel for my own experience.
It is my opinion that
statement.
It is my opinion that it is a fact that is indoctrination and that it's not real.
Okay.
And that if we're being truly objective and true to reality, we should break that and not deal with it. Mm-hmm. But it is also my opinion that it is not worth it to bother with that based on the aforementioned indoctrination.
Okay.
That's how I see monogamy.
For my own sake, I feel happy and contented in my relationship. That's not to say that I don't find other people attractive. Allison Hannigan
fuck that. Anybody who has, you can't.
Allison Hannigan is a stone cold stunner.
There are so many attractive people.
Yeah.
Any relationship that is founded upon the fact that like someone isn't allowed to find other people attractive is inherently unhealthy, and I will stand that hard and fight you to the death. Fucking come at me. Unlike the other thing I just tried to like be amicable about. You know, if you think that any relationship can exist around someone being like, you're only allowed to ever, like, relationships where people are like, you're not allowed to jack off because only I can give you pleasure. That is inherently
God is trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
It's like abusive narcissism. Run away. But yeah, so no, it's not about that.
Sure.
But I think the act of it, but like where it is for me and what I have found after trying to be a slut, for a number of years, which on paper seemed like something, because I am very horny and very sex things, as we've discussed. But like being casually slutty just like does not work for me. It doesn't work. I think I'm like, I don't know. There's just too many variables. There's too much different shit.
There's stuff to keep in mind. Yeah.
Yeah. There's too many fucking variables. It doesn't work. And so like, I've typically only ever really dated one person at a time with like very few minor exceptions. And that's like pretty much where I end up. And I think for me, I'm like, that is what I'm comfortable with. That is what works for me. Also, I think it's inherently stupid. That's how I feel. And like, I'm doing the thing like that. If I don't know if I got that point across, but like the thing that I think is so dumb that I'm like giving you shit for is like the same thing that I do. I just think it's very stupid. It's like doing what's another fighting game analogy? It's like you do the combo that does less damage because it's easier.
Oh, sure. You do
you put jabs in your own each combo
jab,
loops.
stand fierce.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is. Like to me that's what monogamy is. It's something that like
putting jabs in
it's suboptimal. You know that it's not what you should be doing. And that it's actively hurting you to do it, but
you do it because it feels safe and good. You've done it like this before. It's practiced. You learned it like this.
No, I'm not. So yes, that. But that's not the main. That's like a smaller part. That's more memey. It is true. There's a lot of truth in what you just said, but I think the main part is that it would create. I think it creates more harm and work to break that than it is worth it to. Like, it's like you could do the optimal combo.
You just don't want to learn
but it would take you like 2 to 5 years of anguish and awfulness to do the optimal combo. Do you know what I mean? Like, that worth it?
I've been bad. How long have I been playing Wolf? I've been bad at Wolf for like 2 years.
No, you've been playing Wolf for like 6 months, dude.
It feels like a goddamn decade.
It's just not worth. It's not worth getting over the hump. That's how I feel about it. Okay. Like I've tried to push myself, and it's so hard to just be like, I'm gonna be a slut, yeah. And like it's just.
Is that your slut voice?
Yeah, man. Like, hey, I bet you wanna fucking touch my butt? I sound like Fat Kermit the Frog. Why are there so many songs about slut rainbows? So, but yeah, like it's not worth it. It's like I've tried, and I tried for like 2 years to be a big slut, and it just made me feel like anxious and awful, and I hated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
not personally, but I understand the concept.
You've never been a slut?
I've never been a slut.
No.
What are you talking about?
You've never been a slut ever.
Will, look at me. Do I look like a slut to you?
Alex, you've only ever done anything ever with a committed relationship. You've never had a fling. You've never had a one-night stand.
I was kissed by that toothless girl that I danced with.
You've never had a one-night stand ever with anyone?
Never in my life.
What the fuck, Alex?
And I'm not being. I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I don't. If you've had
again, I am so offended that you would fucking offend me by clarifying that.
I did.
Bro, how many times this podcast am I gonna want to fucking jump across the room and fight you for fucking talking?
Bothering to clarify.
Get out of it.
I
just want to clarify that I love everyone, and I'm not saying
I don't love everyone.
Shut the fuck up.
You know who you are.
You've never had any one night stand ever.
I've never had a one night stand.
Damn, dude.
I don't.
I've done everything I've done in the last 5 years. Because that's when I've been single, and sure. I'd only been with one other person ever besides my ex for the entire 10 years I was with my ex. So basically, like 90% of my sexual experience is the last like 6 years, except for all of the kids I was fucking.
That's a joke. I don't know how much of the content of this podcast is being cut, but that's a joke that he just made. Hypothetically, if we cut out the middle part, he was hypothetically a kid fucking kids and not a pedophile. And also, you don't necessarily know that he said that or that I'm saying this now.
like
It's
a
gonna be
really
like
long
6
beep.
seconds. And then a Street Fighter reference.
Yeah, it's like beep, Hadoken, beep. Oh my god. Well, anyway, this is an hour and 15 minutes. So I feel like we should end this podcast, and then I will think for a week and a half about whether I will upload this.
Episode 70 is going to come out before episode 69.
It's looking like a possibility, man.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, I have been Metal Music Man,
I've been Professor Lex.
and we will see you in a time when we do that.
Pew
Words.
pew.
Pew pew.